Yesterday I participated in an event down at the African American Museum of Arts. Is that right? California African American Museum. And it's down on Exposition by USC. Anybody ever gone down there? Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice.
It's nearby the California Science Center.
Yes. And what they had was they had the older men answering questions for the young men, black guys. Older black guys answering questions for the younger black guys. They were able to ask us, which group was I in, the older group or the younger group? And it was a nice turnout, a lot of young folks there. And they had someone on from the 100 Black Men organization, and one guy, black guy on, a professor, he say, at Trade Tech downtown there. And another guy is, I guess he used to be a gang member or something, and he's supposed to be helping them overcome that now. And they had a moderator there, and it was interesting. But what was absolutely sad about the situation, you have all these young folk that were there, a lot of young black boys and girls there, and a lot of them are living in foster homes. They've been taken away from their parents. The government is now taking care of them. And the theme of most of those other elderly guys was that the white man is the problem. All our problems are due to slavery or past slavery. The white man took our land. Am I right? The white man took the black folks' land some 100 years ago. That's the theme. I mean, that's what they were pushing. And I was pushing forgiveness, stop hating your parents. You can do it in this country. The white people are not trying to hold you back. They have their own issues. We got to have love for one another. And I'm thinking about these elderly, is it elderly men?
Elders.
Elder men. Giving out this kind of advice to children who are already having it rough, not having parents there for them, being raised by the government. And this is the advice that they're giving them. Where's the hope in that, They're telling these 15-year-old, 13-year-old, 12, 14, and on, that you can't make it because racism is still there. And the white man is holding you back. And I thought about it later. Where's the hope in that? These are supposed to be some mature men who have learned about life, who have overcome different things in life, and yet they have this angry mentality is that you can't make it. It's such a sad way to live. And it's awful that this is the advice that they're getting, in South Central Los Angeles, and some of them were from Carson and other areas. This is what their leaders are telling them, that the white man is still trying to hold you back. And there's no hope in that at all. You're already coming from a tough situation where you don't have parents to guide you, so you're already feeling the pain of that. And then some adults are telling you of the same color that you can't make it in America because racism. They were talking about racism like Jim Crow was still in existence or something. Like there has been no change at all in America. There was no inspiration at all, inspiring you, encouraging you to get up and do for yourself. None of that, and it was just awful. And then you have some idiots in the audience, adult idiots. Whenever they would speak this stuff, the people applauding. Yeah. And then the government, one of the young guys asked, well, how come since Obama's been in the White House, the blacks are worse off under Obama than prior, right? And they were saying, well, the Republicans are holding them back. I'm like, look, no, that is not true. First of all, the government is never going to take care of you in the right way. They don't want you to be better in life. They want you to be addicted to the government. It doesn't matter the color of the person that's running the government. The government desires for power and control. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to have a job. And I said, under Barack Obama, 20 million more people are receiving food stamps. Since he's been in there, 20 million more people are now receiving, it may be 22, but it's in there, are now receiving food stamps. Since he's been in office. 20 million. And then black Americans are like 12 to 13% of the population. Over 12% are unemployed. It wasn't like that prior to the guy. I'm like, the government is not going to help you. You got to get over this government mentality. You got to love your parents. You got to drop your anger. You got to work hard, save your money, invest your money, and have a normal life. And stop looking to someone else to take care of you. There are some good white folks and some good black folks. Bad white folks and bad black. It has nothing. It's all spiritual. It's the character of the person, not the color. So I was trying to give them a little hope, and some of them told me later they really liked what I said. Even though they were like nodding in the audience, they wouldn't applaud. You know, I guess they were afraid to. But it was very, very sad and interesting to see those men lie to those people, like those young folks like that. When I was growing up on the plantation under the Jim Crow laws, we had to pick cotton and do all that kind of stuff. We were not discouraged like that. I don't remember one time one black person tried to discourage us, adult person. I didn't hear them complaining about life. Grown people are not supposed to complain about life. Anybody here ever complain about life? Any of the adults? Oh, you do? Oh, why? One thing I know as an adult now, it's a waste of energy and time to complain about life. It really is. It's just a waste of time. I'd rather call my mom on the telephone than to complain about life. If I'm going to waste some time, you know. It's a waste of time. Complaining about life. Who else complained about life? I'm going to try to contact some of those organizations from yesterday and work with some of those young people to encourage them to keep, give them a different mindset, teach them to pray and have faith in God. I've come to realize that people are suffering nowadays. They really are suffering within their families, their relationships, with their jobs, with themselves. People are really, really suffering now, and they're looking for some real answers now. I think they just want something that's going to help them to see how to overcome so much suffering, how to get along with one another, how to be free. And I think that's why a lot of people are agreeing. Because as long as you have this anger and this hatred in your heart, you're never going to be free. It's just not going to happen. The best thing you can do for yourself is drop the anger. You got to drop it. You had your hand? Yes.
I was just wondering if there was any, white professional or, a white person there to argue the hate that they were spreading yesterday.
There were a few there, but there was no way on earth, in hell or
They
heaven,
didn't say anything.
that they were going to speak up. No way they would have spoken up in that black crowd yesterday.
Yeah.
And they would have been too afraid. We had one white man there that went with us, and during the question and answer period, I thought he was going to say something, but no. He was sitting there looking like this. He did not say a mumbling word. And he's supposed to be a brave white man. Kind of behind the headlines guy, But no. But yeah, there were a few white people, but there were no way they're going to stand up and disagree with those folks.
You think those young black kids believed them?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely. Because they have nothing else to believe but that. If you're young and you're hearing that all the time, that's all you're hearing, and you're hearing it from people that seem to be people of authority in certain positions in life, you're going to believe that. You know, if that's all you're hearing. I believed it when I moved to California and started listening to all that stuff. At one point, I literally thought that white people were holding me back in life.
You thought what?
That white people were holding me back in life because of my color.
Unbelievable.
Because that's all I was hearing
Because
in the community.
A lot of those black kids, you know, from foster homes, they have white social workers, you know, that have worked with them, and I was one of them, and you know, I love them. I thought they, you know, I mean, I was caring towards them like, I mean, I've never seen color like that. I mean,
Right.
I'm only starting to see color now because of the reverse racism, you know, towards me. But before, I never saw that. I cared for them like I care for any kid.
Yes.
And so I'm just wondering, like, do they hate, if I was their social worker, would they hate me after, you know, they heard that? Or do they really?
They already hate you.
They already hate me.
Even while you're loving them, they hate you because they see you as the enemy. And even though you're being nice, if you ever disagreed with some other black person or someone they admired, or you spoke the truth about the condition of black Americans, they would turn on you just like that. They will automatically think that you're saying it because you're racist. But as long as you're just being nice and, you know, sweet to them, that's fine. But you would not be able to speak the truth about the real problem in the black community.
But you always say to speak up. I mean, this is
You
now
should.
another, yeah.
Yeah, you should anyway, but I'm just saying that, and then some, if you start speaking the truth and don't overreact to them, some will start to admire that, and then they'll listen to it. That's when they'll catch on to it. Absolutely.
Liberal black leaders who say, you know, the black people are being mistreated by whites, they're saying that they're doing nothing different than what the Jews are doing when they teach their kids that people don't like the Jews, you know, and stuff. But I notice that the Jewish kids grow up to be mostly successful.
Right.
Whereas, and they're taught that you know, that people don't like them because they're Jewish and all that kind of stuff, you know, like black people teach their kids. But there's some disconnect going on where the black kids don't grow up, a lot of them don't grow up to be successful, whereas the Jewish kids do.
Well, that's because even though the Jews may be complaining about what happened in the past, they still have tight families. You know, they're well educated. They even start their own schools and make sure their kids are educated. They have a father and mother in the home, so they have good examples of what they should become. They own businesses. You know, they own businesses. They're doing their thing. They're not looking to the government to take care of their families. Whereas the blacks are complaining, but they're looking to the government to take care of their families. And that's the difference. They're not getting married and being a good example for the children and showing that even if life is tough or situations are tough, you can overcome it anyway. You don't have to be down and out. They are looking to the black leaders to think for them and do for them and for the government to do it. So the agenda is a little different than what the Jews are doing. That's why it's like that. They're like, oh, he's just a Fox News guy.
Really?
Told me to listen to that Fox News stuff. Oh, I'm like, shut up. Yeah, so yeah, they heard. And then the game guy said, he was mad at me too. He was mad at me when I first walked. They served lunch for us, so when I walked into the area where they were serving lunch, they introduced me. These guys were already there, so they said, this is Jesse, blah, blah, blah. And the gang member said his name was Pico something, Pico Boulevard, something like that. And I'm like, Pico Boulevard, that's your name? And then I later found out that apparently he's down on Pico somewhere. He has near houses somewhere down there where he's working with gang members. But he was mad at me, and I found out on the stage later why. Apparently he came to my office looking for some help. And I don't know what kind of help he was looking for because I didn't meet him. I didn't see him. And he was mad that he didn't get any help because he said on the stage there, I went to your office to get some help, and I didn't get any help. And I just said, whatever. I wanted to ask him, what were you asking for? You know, because if he was asking for money or food, he definitely came to the wrong place. Once in a while, we may give you some food. It all depends on how Patrick is feeling that day. Most of the time when they get food, they get it from you anyway, right? Is that right? I noticed that if a black person is sitting at the front desk and they come here for some food, they're not going to get it. But if they catch Patrick at the front desk, they'll get some food. I guess you must be scared.
Yeah, I give him some potato chips once in a while.
Yeah. But, so I don't know what the guy wanted. But he was mad because we didn't get him whatever it is he was looking for. And so he went off too. So yeah, they heard me. They heard it loud. I made sure I spoke up too. I spoke really loud to make sure everybody could hear. Because I want those young people to realize there's another way to live. You don't have to spend the rest of your life complaining. You really don't.
It seemed like the format of wanting to help younger teenagers is a good format, but it just seemed like the answers were all material and all intellectual. But it was good that you was there because no one else was putting the truth out there.
Yeah, that was amazing to me. These are like young folks that need help. They're coming from bad situations already, and they're getting bad advice, worse advice. These young people, and it was just mind-blowing to see that. Absolute mind-blowing. But hopefully we were able to help some. God didn't have us there by chance. You know, there was a reason for it.